शिव भारते तोमा ॐ ह्रीं वृतं तोमचलो गुणजे गुणेन्द्यः नक्तं देवं सकरुणं तव पाद पद्मं मोहङ्कषं बहुकृतं न भजे यतोऽहं तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो भक्तिर्भगश्च भजनं भवभेदकारी गच्छन्त्यलं सुविपुलं गमनाय तत्त्वं वक्त्रोद्धृतोऽपि हृदये न मे भाति किञ्चित् तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो तेजस्तरन्ति तरसा त्वयि तृष्णाः रागे कृते ऋतपथे त्वयि राम कृष्णे मर्त्यामृतं तव पदं मरणोर्मे नाशं तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो कृत्यं करोति कलोषं कुहकान्तकारी श्नान्तं शिवं सुविमलं तव नाम नाथ यस्मादहं त्वशरणो जगदेक गम्य तस्मात् बन्धो ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। सर्वमङ्गल माङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। सृष्टिस्थिति विनाशानां शक्ति भूते सनातने गुणा शये गुणमये नारायणे नमोस्तुते। शरणा गता दीनार्ता परित्राण परायणे सर्वस्यार्थे हरे देव जय नारायणे नमोस्तुते जय नारायणे नमोस्तुते जय नारायणे नमोस्तुते। जय महामाये की जय, जय भगवान श्री रामकृष्ण देव की जय, जय स्वामी जी महाराज जी की जय।
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय Ramakrishnaaya te namaha. Offering my humble pranams, devoted pranams at the feet of Sri Sri Thakur, Sri Sri Ma and Sri Sri Swamiji Maharaj. Revered Swamiji is present in the temple hall, distinguished devotees, our mothers and brothers. It is our good fortune that Srimad Swami Sarvasthananji Maharaj, who is present amongst this all Indigo Airlines chaos, he could reach, and he would be immediately traveling tomorrow. But fortunately, it is Sunday, and we snatched one opportunity, requested him, and he kindly consented to share his thoughts on the topic today, living consciously, for the benefit of you all. Many of you might know Swami Sarvasthananji is present minister in charge of our Born and Center near London. He was blessed by Swami Vireshwaranji Maharaj by spiritual initiation in 1983, and in 1987 he joined the order at Velur Mutt, and since immediately after that he was posted to Rajkot, where he served more than 30 years, out of which 27 years he has worked closely and headed the publication department, amongst which 15 years he was the editor of the Gujarati monthly Sri Ramakrishna Jyot, and for more than 6 years he was also the head of the Rajkot Ashrama. Since he is going there to London, he is presently one of the 3 official representatives of the Ramakrishna Order to UNESCO for its varied functions organized by the organization. In connection with the same, he had attended the summit in Riyadh, Paris, and in Germany, and in various places. He had been traveling extensively in UK, Europe, and also in America, preaching Ramakrishna, Vedanta, and Vivekananda Vedanta ideas and Indian culture, heritage, values, etc. It's our good fortune that Revered Maharaj is here. We are very delighted to hear from him on this wonderful topic. I humbly offer my pranam at the feet of Revered Maharaj and request him to take over the mic. Thank you very much.
Om Jananim Saradam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Revered Swami Satyadevananji Maharaj, other senior monks, brahmachari brothers, and dear devotees. It's a blessed privilege to be here and speak to the devotees of Mumbai Ashrama, where I had the privilege of meeting many senior Swamijis during my student days. Though my initiation took place in Mangalore when I was a student there, most of the 22 years I lived in Mumbai. I had the opportunity both as a volunteer and also a regular visitor to this center for so many years now. So it's one of the important centers in my formative years as a monk. So the topic on which I have to express a few thoughts is living consciously. Why and how? These are 2 important questions. First of all, when we say living consciously, the question may arise, are we not living consciously? If you ask a doctor, obviously we are living consciously. Because consciousness means different things in different fields of study: medical, psychiatry, psychology, yoga, Vedanta. Consciousness has different connotations. So if you ask a question whether we are living consciously or not, many people will say we are living, obviously we are living consciously unless we are unconscious for some medical reason. But according to Vedanta, we have to think carefully before answering this question. So that's why the first part of the talk is living consciously, why and how. So if we are living consciously, then there is no question of why to live consciously. We are obviously, according to Vedanta, we are not living fully consciously. We are partly conscious. Now, otherwise, Sri Ramakrishna, in a few days, few weeks from now, will be celebrating the Kalpataru Day, which is famous now. But on 1st January 1886, when Sri Ramakrishna was asked for blessings, he said in Bengali, "Tomader ar ki bolbo, tomader chaitanya hok." So he is giving a blessing, saying that let your consciousness be awakened. That means that all human beings have had their consciousness fully awakened. So that is why when I say living consciously, it means from the higher point of view of the definition of consciousness which Sri Ramakrishna blessed us with. He hoped through his blessings that all of us or many of us will someday live consciously, or our consciousness will be fully awakened. So from the psychological point of view, if you look at it from the perspective of modern knowledge, modern psychology says we do have something known as unconscious. So there is a conscious mind that they accept. And deep down in our unconscious, there are hidden memories of old thoughts. Somehow they have been through repression or to suppression. Through some kind of repression or suppression, many of our thoughts have become unconscious according to or in the subconscious plane. And very often we have very little control over our thoughts. That Western psychiatry admits. He says we are under the influence of our subconscious or unconscious mind, which very often overrules or overrides our conscious effort. So, according to Western psychology, according to general psychology, we have three powers of the mind. One is the capacity to think, according to their definition, and capacity to feel, emotion, so cognition or rational thinking, and we have what is known as emotion, and we have what is known as conation or willpower. So we have many thoughts in our life. Many of them are conscious, many of them are deep-rooted unconscious thoughts which come to the surface now and then, and in spite of ourselves make us do things which we would normally not do if we are conscious. In fact, Duryodhana pleads with Krishna or tells Krishna that I am not to blame. Janami dharmam nachame pravrutti. I know what is dharma. My rational education, rational thinking, my feeling and everything has been trained in such a way. We had the same Guru, Dronacharya. Pandavas also had the same teacher. But I know what dharma is. But nachame pravrutti, I cannot follow that dharma. Something within forces me to practice adharma. Then he says, Janami adharmam, I know what adharma is. Nachame nivrutti, means I cannot get rid of those adharmic thoughts which are not according to dharma. So that means there is some other force in our mind apart from thinking and feeling, which the Western psychology says is the willpower to convert our thoughts and emotions into concrete actions. For example, I have a lot of feeling for poor people. I always say that I feel very emotional when I see some suffering people. At the same time, I have wonderful plans how to help them and many things. But when it comes to action, these thinking and feeling, the thoughts of thinking and feeling are frozen in our brain. But we don't have the willpower or sankalpa shakti to implement those thoughts. So Swami Vivekananda blamed especially the younger generation. See, you have to develop willpower, which comes through action, karma yoga, strengthening of the will by action. So it is not enough to consciously be aware. The cognition may be perfect, our rational thinking may be correct, we may be thinking properly, we may be feeling properly, feeling for others, but we are lazy, we cannot manifest that willpower to convert that thought and emotion into concrete action. So when you have willpower or you make a sankalpa, that is why before every ritual and every noble ritual, puja and other things, in the Hindu tradition, you have to make a sankalpa that if I undertake this noble activity, I will complete it. So I will use all my willpower. In the case of puja, you have to sit for hours together. I will make a sankalpa that I will finish this puja. So the willpower gets strengthened by practice of what we think and feel. So till this, Western psychology completely agrees. They say, they agree that we have to develop a strong willpower. In fact, Swami Vivekananda says, whatever progress in the outer world or the inner world which humanity has made is through the power of gigantic wills. Like Buddha, they had gigantic wills, they just did not think, they just did not feel compassion for others. They actually worked tirelessly. Take the life of Krishna, for example. For 1 minute he would not sit, always doing some kind of action, always active, intensely active, but with a controlled mind. So that is the ideal, according to even Western psychology will definitely agree with this, that a willpower, strong willpower leads to material progress or even spiritual progress. That sankalpa shakti should be added to thinking and feeling. So these three powers are definitely there. But yoga psychology said, where do we get this sankalpa shakti from? There is something which is known as wasting of thought energy. Swami Vivekananda in his Raj Yoga says very clearly that we have to be very careful. Like all other forces, gravitational force, electromagnetic force, thought is also a force. So we have a limited capacity. So yoga says, according to Patanjali's yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, that is, the more you restrict unnecessary thoughts, thoughts that miss or direct you from your goal, the sankalpa that you have made, so many thoughts from the unconscious will bubble up. They are known as klishta thoughts. So all those thoughts, which is because of our wrong thinking, wrong habit, or wrong thinking of the past, they have gone and become samskaras. And in spite of our conscious effort to stop them, they come whenever we don't want them to come. If, for example, thoughts of depression or some old memories, we have forgotten the memories of, say, several years before. But when we think, try to meditate, try to do some good thing, these memories from where we don't know, it comes out and troubles us, and that drains away our energy. So, according to yoga psychology, they said there is another force, not just thinking, feeling, and willpower. These things are definitely there. There's a fourth power which can strengthen the mind through the practice of what Swami Vivekananda defined as Raj Yoga. It's the king of yogas because it helps our mind to control our thoughts, and in the process, the more we control our thoughts, the more power is generated. The simple example that is given is that of a flowing river. Flowing river, if you put a dam across that, the potential water that is collected, that can be used and directed for better purposes. For that you have to first construct a dam. That means you have to stop the stem the flow of thoughts. So the more you allow the mind free rein and allow the unconscious, thoughts will keep on bubbling, and if you have no control over them, then you cannot accomplish the tasks that you need to accomplish. Even if you have good thoughts, good thinking capacity, good emotions, refined emotions, a wonderful heart, and also a strong willpower, but at the same time, your restless mind doesn't allow you, or it drains away all the energy. So you lose power. So that is why they discovered a fourth power of the mind, which according to yoga helps the mind, strengthen the mind through thinking, proper feeling, or proper refining through bhakti. So bhakti yoga is the yoga which deals with emotions. Our emotions are not bad if it is directed towards God. So all the emotions, Sri Ramakrishna has said, Mod firiye deva, mane just change the direction of those emotions. Emotions are not bad. Even fear is not bad. So everything can be converted, emotions can be converted into a power of the mind for spiritual development if you direct it towards God. So also karma, all the sankalpana, all the willpower that we develop through puja, through rituals, they are not just rituals. The seva, service activities, karma yoga done with the spirit of detachment, or as the spirit of offering to God, all this will strengthen our willpower. This small little action, Swamiji says in Karma Yoga, every work done adds to your willpower, and you can channelize that strong developed willpower into useful channels. So that is how you practice Karma Yoga. You direct your emotions toward God. That will refine it through the process of bhakti, that is bhakti yoga. Then you use your discrimination to find out what is real, what is worth running after. So when you ask this question, whether we are living consciously or not, the first question you have to ask is, why should we learn to live consciously? In Sanskrit, they call it prayojana. So an intelligent person will always think, why I should do. If I want to become a monk, I should ask, why should I become a monk? First I have to answer that question. Not how to become a monk, anybody can answer that. So there is a beautiful book. It's a secular book, but I don't know how he got this idea, but he got the same idea. Swami Vivekananda 125 years ago said this. He said, Indian civilization is a very wise civilization because it focused more on the question of why. Not how and what and how. That it left for babies. That means the European civilization, they focused more on how and what of things. But our people were obsessed with this. Why do we do the things that we do? For everything they used to ask this question, this prayojana. Even to read scriptures or even to study scriptures, they would encourage the disciple not to blindly study and just enroll yourself and go under a guru and study. You have to ask the prayojana, are you first, whether you are a adhikari or not, and if you are a adhikari, why I should study? why I should take initiation, why I should embrace a particular way of life. So our life will be happier if we answer this why. So this gentleman, Simon Sinek, he is the one, his books are very popular. He said, I studied all the most successful people who have helped the world in various ways. Philanthropic people, charity people who donated a lot of amount in charity, people who have done wonderful work, motivational work for the benefit of humanity. So he wanted to find out what is the motivating power behind their success. So he said in their life, they did not take for granted, they did not do exactly what others did. Right from childhood, he said they had a tendency to ask this question, why? So he named that book, it's a very interesting book, Begin with a Why. So that same idea Swami Vivekananda expressed 125 years ago, when he said Indian civilization always began their life, trained their children to always ask this question, the why of things. How to do it, what to do, it will come later. If necessary, we will learn that later. But we should first know, why should we learn to live consciously? That is the topic today. Why should we learn consciously? Are we not living consciously? If we were living consciously, Sri Ramakrishna would not have blessed all the devotees who were obviously living, thinking that they are living consciously. He said, Tomadar Chaitanya Hok. That means they are not living consciously. They have not attained the higher consciousness which Vedanta asks us to live. So in another place, one European disciple of Swami Vivekananda, they were comparing. When Swami Vivekananda went with his Western disciples, he undertook a train journey, the Great Orient Express. So Josephine MacLeod and Captain and Mrs. Xavier, it's a very expensive train. They purchased a ticket, and Swamiji has written some wonderful memories of his European travel, Europe Pravas. So he says, and the train would start from Paris and go up to Constantinople, passing through all the European countries. And the main feature was that you can get down at any stop, spend 2-3 days and take the next train after 2-3 days. The same Great Orient Express. So that train, when Swamiji was traveling, there was a prince of, I think, Holland. He was a Dutch prince. So he was influenced a lot by socialistic ideas, especially those of Karl Marx. Communism was not so popular in those days. Karl Marx had just written some wonderful books which gave rise to the communist movement or the Marxist movement. So he was influenced. Though he belonged to a royal family, he believed that power should be with the masses. So he was asking, see, Europe has made so much of success compared to your India. I mean, India was in those days under the British. Though India was once upon a time a very rich civilization. So he was arguing with Swamiji because your country was ruled by kings and they exploited the people. That is his argument. And he said, because Europe had a democracy and they had socialistic ideas, ruled by the people, that is why they are prosperous. So civilization, Europe is a very progressive civilization, and he made fun of India, saying that Indian civilizations, I mean not knowing the history, and to Swami Vivekananda is telling, you people will never make progress, or something like that, not directly. So Swami Vivekananda told him, do you think the progress that you see outside is real progress? He said, the only sustainable progress, he defined civilizational progress by a very important statement, which is a commentary on Sri Ramakrishna's idea, Tomadari Chaitanya Hok. He said, spiritual civilization is the progressive reading of spirit means Chaitanya, into matter. That civilization which teaches her people to manifest more and more of this Chaitanya or awaken this consciousness the higher consciousness, which is potentially present in every human being, but unfortunately it has been subdued by Jadatavad or materialism, Upabhoktavad as they call. So materialism, the Western civilization, outwardly they are progressing, and he gave the warning to Europeans. He said, mind my words. He warned. He told this prince, you people cannot see it, but I can see it. The whole of Europe is sitting on the top of a volcano. In spite of all its material progress, one day this volcano will burst. And unless it is quenched by Indian spirituality, the study of consciousness, the power of spirit over matter, which Jesus Christ taught. He said, you go back to Christ. Christ always said the spirit should prevail over matter, not matter over spirit. And you people are glorifying your material civilization. So he said, if Europe does not take to Indian spirituality or spiritual ways, the science of consciousness, the whole volcano will burst. And true to his predictions, you will see 2 world wars took place. How much of destruction, how much of loss of property, human beings, so many wars, long wars. The European glory within 3 generations was completely, 2 generations, completely that volcano burst, as Swami Vivekananda said. So he said, if India dies, then who will live? If Indian study of consciousness, the power of spirit over matter, he said, spirit should always predominate over matter. The power of Chaitanya over the Jada universe or Prakriti. That is what Indian spirituality is all about. He said, the progressive reading of spirit into matter. Unfortunately, in religion, it is a progressive reading of matter into spirit. It's a very sad state of affairs. Today, in spirituality also, how much of material benefit we'll get by practicing certain rituals. That is the main. If you go to England, if you go to any European country, they will ask, if we practice your meditation, how long can I live, or how much money shall I earn, how much success I can get in my career. That's what they are interested in. That means they are reading matter into spirit. Whereas spirituality is reading spirit into matter. The progressive, the more you read spirit into matter, then your attachment to the material things will become less and less. And as Christ said, my kingdom is the kingdom of spirit. Unfortunately, the Romans did not understand it, and they thought he wanted to be the king of the Romans, the Jews, and they crucified him. He never wanted, like all other prophets, Sri Ramakrishna, Buddha, they were all emperors. They were definitely emperors of the spiritual world. Adhyatmik Samrajya ke, they were the emperors of the spiritual world. But people, when you talk of somebody as an emperor, they always think of material world. So they understand the power, what Alexander did, what Ashoka did, what the great kings did, all the external glory of Prakriti, not the Purusha, not the primacy of the spirit. So that is why Swami Vivekananda once said, in Sri Ramakrishna there was no materialism at all. He had converted everything that was material into pure spirit. That is why he said, I can't give you any other blessing, neither money, because some of them, like some of the disciples, wanted wealth and other things. But he said, you have come to the wrong place. I can't promise any of these things. In fact, you will lose. If you want to become the emperor of the spiritual world, you have to give up the material world. There is no other way. Vedanta says there is no doubt about it that spirit only prevails. Spirit has to prevail. When they say Satyameva Jayate, it's not just spoken truth. The Satya of Satya, the truth that is, we are the spirit, we are the pure consciousness. And to the extent we can live making consciousness primary in our life, or spirit primary in our life, then spirit is consciousness. That is the old word that was used. Earlier in those days when Jesus spoke, when Swami Vivekananda spoke, he never used the word consciousness. Now this word is used, but earlier it was known as spirit. Spirit means Chaitanya. So all through our civilization, Swamiji says, till India gives up its hold on the spiritual values, India will not die. He said, India lives. If you read the Colombo to Almora, because India gave up everything, it did not mind embracing slavery for 700 years by the Mughals, but still, he said, India still lives because it knows the importance of holding on to pure consciousness. So in that context, we have to learn how to progressively manifest this spirit in our day-to-day life, how to live consciously. So that means we have to learn to live less and less unconsciously. So how to do it? That's the first part is why and how. So why we have answered, because unless we hold on to the spirit which is of eternal nature, in Sankhya it is known as Purusha, the Chaitanya within us, because Prakriti is always changing. Anything that changes is temporary, is not eternal. Anything that is not eternal gives rise to misery. That is the simple idea of Buddhism. Buddhism said, don't discuss whether there is God and Bhakti and all those things. He didn't bother. He said the very nature of Prakriti, the very nature of Maya, or what you see around you, because it is impermanent, no matter how rich you are, how everything is one day going to go away. So this impermanence of the world outside and also the impermanence of the mind. That is why Buddha, they do what is known as awareness meditation or mindfulness. They just want to focus on the Chaitanya aspect, the spiritual aspect of our true being. Because all other things will change, mental modes will change. Sometimes you will be happy, sometimes you will be miserable, sometimes there will be depression, sometimes you will be elated with success. So this cycle, this ever-changing world of Maya, in the midst of that, the only stable thing is the spirit. And that is why Sri Ramakrishna said, hold on to this Chaitanya, tumhare Chaitanya ho. So every action that we do, if it helps us to realize this consciousness within, that is living consciously. Otherwise, we are almost, most of the time, if you see, we are living unconscious lives. To make it very simple, Vedanta speaks of broadly two types of mind. There are many aspects of the mind, Chitta, Buddhi, Ahankar. We will not go into the detailed philosophy of it. Two types of mind, one is Manas and Buddhi. So the whole education in the Gurukul, in all the ancient education system, which is unfortunately not there now, was focused on parallel development of Manas and Buddhi. So what is the difference? We all have minds, but there is a lower mind and there is a higher mind. The lower mind is Manas, which can be trained, the senses can be trained, the five Indriyas and 5 Karmendriyas and Gyanendriyas, we can sharpen them. That is what modern education is doing in a beautiful way. There is no doubt about it that modern education is training the Manas, is making skilled people who have the skills, but most of the skills are unconscious. Say for example, you are typing or you are becoming a computer programmer or whatever it is. It is repeated skills, training the Manas in such a way, it is known as reactive mind. In a simple language, I read that in Swami Vivekananda's Raj Yoga. So he defines Manas and Buddhi. Both are definitely different layers of the same mind. But one is a reactive mind. It just reacts to the sensory inputs. The world gives it a lot of information. We process it. It's like a CPU of the computer. So you process everything and give it back as reaction. So it is a very simple mechanism. It is known as the reactive mind. A mind which reacts intelligently. Suppose you are more qualified, more skilled, the better educated, secular, in a secular sense, you are educated, because you can do things faster, because you have skilled yourself, skilled your mind, trained your mind to do repeated things, and that repeated actions makes you a specialist in your field. It may be medicine, it may be any field. So they say you are a skilled doctor, a skilled engineer, but that doesn't make you a man of buddhi. Our scriptures, especially in olden days, the day you started secular education, say between 6 and 8, now people go to school much earlier, but in those days, 6 and 8, they go to the Gurukul, both boys and girls, mind you. I don't know why it became the monopoly of the boys alone. They used to give what is known as a simple ritual, but very important ritual, which has survived to this day. But now it is just a ritual. We do it because our forefathers did it. That is known as giving of sacred thread, Gayatri. Upanayana, they call. And somehow it was restricted first to boys, then it became restricted only to certain castes, which is not a Vedic development. In Vedas, everybody had a right to Gayatri, because everybody has a right to develop his or her buddhi. So boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Everybody, along with the development of manas, had to develop buddhi, because buddhi is that faculty of the mind, higher faculty, which helps you to make the right choice in life. If you are not wise, an intelligent person will make wrong choices. You see Duryodhana, he made a wrong choice and he killed himself. Literally he killed himself by making a wrong choice. He was skilled, in fact he was more skilled than Bhima. In warfare he was very skilled. But making the right choice, to follow dharma, you need buddhi, not just manas. Development of manas skills is what our education focuses on. But our ancient culture in the Gurukula, they said along with manas, even at the age of 6, you can't do Upanayana when you are 25 years old, just before marriage. That is what people do, because it's just a ritual now. So the buddhi, the prayer itself, Gayatri says, Dhiyo yona prachodayata. Dhi means buddhi. So right from childhood, this living consciously is taught to these young children. They said it's not enough to have a skilled career. You may earn a lot of money, you may be very successful. But if you don't know how to make choices, how to live with other human beings, how to live with wisdom, then your life is waste. You may be a very highly intellectual person, but without buddhi you are zero. So they gave a lot of importance to this Gayatri. The tradition, it was a simple ritual. Now people don't understand its significance, but it's the secret behind all our diksha, the spiritual training, that the meaning of the spiritual practice, which is represented by Gayatri in the Vedic age. Now there are other techniques in Buddhism, in Hinduism. So we pray to the Lord that along with the skills that we develop as a result of our education, the manas, the buddhi also has to develop. So this training, which formed an important part of the curriculum and the education system of the past, taught the people how to live consciously. Now that is one way, by prayer. Gayatri is just a prayer. It is a prayer with, if you understand the meaning, it says, Dhiyo yona prachodayat om bhurvuvasvaha tat savitur. I pray to that light which represents knowledge, the knowledge of Chaitanya, or the knowledge of the Atman or Brahman or Purusha. That knowledge, I pray to the presiding deity of that knowledge, so that he may illumine my intellect. Because without buddhi, with a highly developed manas and indriyas, I cannot make the right choices and lead a successful life, which will lead to the ultimate goal of life, that is mukti, or realizing that you are the pure consciousness. So that living consciously is actually it leads or it indicates that if we live consciously, we will make progress. We will try to read more and more spirit into matter. Our actions, though they are same actions, you may do whatever you were doing earlier. We all will do according to our swadharma, we will be doing different actions. A doctor will become a better doctor. A farmer will become a better farmer if his buddhi is awakened. The common factor here is, if irrespective of what secular pursuits, what manasik or mental training you undergo, your profession may change, but your primary goal to manifest more and more spirit by practicing your own swadharma in a very skilled way, which can be done unconsciously. Now, you may think, how can I unconsciously excel in my field of work? It is because of repeated habits. Swami Vivekananda says, if you do something on a regular basis, say even driving, if because you are driving again and again, an experienced driver doesn't have to consciously drive. The moment he sits, he can skillfully navigate. There is something which Swami Sharadananji explains in the Great Master. All of you should read this wonderful book. He was discussing about the mind of Swami Vivekananda. Why Sri Ramakrishna's thoughts, words and deeds, man mukh ek kara. That is what Thakur used to say. So what does it mean? So Swami Vivekananda said, in the case of Sri Ramakrishna, he lived a highly conscious life. You see, for example, I will give you a very small example. One day he went to some guest's house, some devotee's house, and Latu Maharaj was his sevak. And his duty was to take the lota, because he used to use that water, and a towel. He was very particular. Don't think Sri Ramakrishna was ever absent-minded. He was absolutely attentive. That is what conscious living is all about. We make so many mistakes because our mind is somewhere else. Right from the time we get up, while we are doing one thing, we are thinking of another thing. What we should be doing at 3 o'clock, this. Thakur's life was not like that. Master Mahashaya says, he says, when Thakur used to sit in the Dakshineshwar room, if he just said, I will go and have darshan of Ma Kali. Master Mahashaya has mentioned in his reminiscences. He said, Thakur, once he said, he made a sankalpa, I will go and have darshan of Ma Kali, he will get up and start walking. Now when we make a sankalpa, on the way we meet somebody says hi, we'll stop. And then we may forget to go to the temple. We'll be diverted, then we'll do something else. But he said, I observed very carefully, no matter how important that person is, on the way nobody could stop him. You see, these are small things, but Sri Ramakrishna was very conscious. When he said, I will do darshan, he said he walked very fast and did not stop or did not even pause till he reached the temple. He did darshan, and however important that person is, then he comes out, then he attends to that. That means his every action was conscious. So here, when he asked Latu Maharaj to take his towel and lota and other things, while coming back in the carriage, see, he was in Bhav Samadhi. If he forgets anything, we will not blame Thakur, because he was always in a high state of mind. So if such a person forgets simple things, we will excuse him. But Sri Ramakrishna was not like that. At every moment he was conscious. So on the way back he asked Latu Maharaj, what happened to the towel? And he said, oh, I forgot. Forgetfulness is not living consciously. We are not conscious. We were conscious that the towel was there. He said, see, he then scolded Latu Maharaj. He said, most of the time I am in Samadhi and I go into very high spiritual state. I sing, I do kirtan, but not a single occasion I have forgotten anything. He said, now you have forgotten the towel. Those people will discover that Thakur's towel is here. Then they have to send somebody or maybe buy a new towel, the new place where we go. Maybe those people will say, oh, what a person, he has not brought his towel. They have to buy a new towel for us. So Thakur went on scolding him. He said, I am always in a very high state, but I never forget anything. And you could not even remember the small thing. So this shows that when we start living consciously, we become less forgetful. That is one of the things that happens, that should happen. Of course, we keep forgetting because we are so preoccupied in, that is why in some traditions of Buddhism, they have this what is known as miracle of mindfulness meditation. That is the first basic meditation which Buddhist novices are asked to meditate. They said just be mindful of whatever you are doing. Suppose you are brushing your teeth or doing some very ordinary work or washing your hands. Don't do any multitasking. Just think of what you are doing. That is their training. If you are eating food, just focus on food. We will do so many things. Even if you are reading a newspaper, if you see Swami Vivekananda's life, he was reading a simple book and somebody came and stood near him and he didn't even notice that he was standing. He was so focused on what he was doing. A simple thing like reading Pickwick Papers or some book he was reading. So that man thought, he is ignoring me because he is not even noticing me. But the real case was that Swamiji was so conscious and with 100% attention he used to read. Whatever he did, whether it was reading, whether it was singing, even if you see Rani Rasmani, Sri Ramakrishna was so conscious, he was not only living a conscious life, he would not even tolerate, he could read others' minds. So when Rani Rasmani he was singing, of course, with full devotion, he was singing a wonderful song. But the moment Rani Rasmani was sitting and she was thinking of some law case, some lawsuit, immediately Sri Ramakrishna was disturbed and he went and slapped her. He said, sitting here, you are thinking of your law case. That means he could not tolerate. In Bengali they say, bhaver ghare churi. So we have to be 100% conscious of whatever we are doing at that particular moment. In Buddhist tradition, they call it's a very serious type of meditation, of course for beginners, which is known as mindfulness meditation. They say don't have to meditate on any object. Just be mindful of what, if you are doing gardening, just do gardening. Don't think of what you will do after 2 hours, what you will cook. Or while you are cooking, don't think of your trip, where you will go. Then you will spoil both the cooking and so that is living consciously. So when you live consciously, you live in the moment. You don't allow your mind to go back into the past, or you don't allow the mind to go back unnecessarily into the future. If it goes into the future, it will start worrying. If it goes into the past, it will start regretting. If you are focused on the future, there is no problem. You see, most of the time, when we are focusing, when we are mindful of our present state of mind or state of action that we are doing, then there are very little problems. Our problems are because the past comes now and then, or thoughts of the past, memories of the past, they disturb our present. Sometimes it is memories of the past, things that we have done, over which we have no control. It is over, that matter is over. I might have made thousands of mistakes, but that's not going to help me now. My main concern is to live consciously in such a way that I don't repeat that mistake. And another problem of the mind is, it drags the future into the present. Means what it does, it imagines. If this happens, if that happens, nothing has happened. We are still in the present. But we drain away our energy. So one of the reasons why we should live consciously is, it enables us to live totally in the present. So that is a very important technique, at least in Buddhism. Though Vedanta says that is a sort of preliminary meditation. It leads to the real objective meditation or subjective meditation on the self. That spirit of self-inquiry, Jnana Marga or Bhakti Marga, where that same Brahman or Sachidananda is objectified. And you meditate on an object which is not just the deity, the form that you are meditating or the name that you are repeating. It represents the Brahman himself, the pure consciousness, Sat, Chit and Ananda, the aspect of Brahman, which we, for our convenience, we give it a form. Whether it is formless or with form, or does it have an eternal form? That is the question. Now, Brahmo Samaj, this pure consciousness, the idea of pure consciousness was there. But they were very fanatic. They said Murti Puja is wrong. It is a Mrinmayi, not Chinmayi mother. So even Swami Vivekananda was influenced and he refused to go and worship before the image. It's an image, and Master Masha also said, Thakur, don't you think we should educate the people and tell it is not Chinmayi, but it is not Mrinmayi, but it is Chinmayi? Then he got terribly angry. Who are you to tell the Calcutta people? You people always want to tell others. You better educate yourself. Why do you call her Mrinmayi? You may see a stone. I see that Chinmayi, she is pure consciousness. She is of the nature of pure consciousness. The Bhakta superimposes that quality of form, the eternal form that he wants to see, that Sachidananda has come in this form. So that is conscious. He said, why do you say she is Mrinmayi? She is not made of mud or stone or wood or any other material. Externally, yes. If you are a materialistic person, you will see only the image. That is why you are criticizing Murti Puja and other things. But I see her as pure consciousness, Chinmayi Ma. So that is the idea. Living consciously means seeing the spirit where you see other people see matter. Where other people see matter, we see the spirit. Swami Sri Ramakrishna used to say, small children, they don't have this idea of, they think everything is full of consciousness. So he was telling the young nephew when he was very small, he was saying, see how the butterfly is talking to that flower. See, Mama, they are conversing with each other because he is not seeing them as unconscious creatures. He is seeing them as fully conscious people communicating with each other. Sri Ramakrishna had so many visions. Whenever he saw anything, any material thing, he would see pure consciousness in its place. That is why he found this whole world full of divinity. So that is why he said, Tumadere Chaitanya Hok. So he knew that we are, instead of seeing the Chaitanya through all these people, the whole world around us, we are seeing Prakriti or the matter in where we ought to see spirit. So that training to live consciously means to be more and more conscious of the spirit within, the divine spirit, Divyata, the divine spirit which is potentially divine spirit which is within. Though right now we may see matter, but ultimately by the force of our devotion. Even Thakur, when he started his spiritual practice, he used to say, are you cheating me? Ram Prasad says you talked with him, you gave your darshan to everyone, Kamalakanta, Ram Prasad and all. But I just see you are not speaking, you are not. Till he was convinced, till he had the first realization, he was yearning. Even he was disappointed that the whole world, the scriptures say that this image is Chinmayi. But why am I not seeing? Why is my mother not breathing? So, Swami Shardananji explains, in Sri Ramakrishna's case, he uses because he was not a trained doctor, but he was doing some medical studies. He uses a very nice word. He says, for Sri Ramakrishna, the sadhana was not just an intellectual exercise or some scriptural, following some scriptures or some guru's methods. He said, for Sri Ramakrishna, every thought, every action was a conversion of he says, a nervous association of ideas. So Sri Ramakrishna, like we have ideas, but those ideas are not nervously associated with us. One simple example I'll give and then we'll conclude. Sri Ramakrishna, when he first said that he convinced his mind. What is this nervous association of ideas? Swami Shraddhanand is explaining. He said, if he decided that I will not touch a coin, because he somehow felt money is a very harmful thing for spiritual life. So he makes a sankalpa that I will not touch a coin. Then that idea, for most of us, we will make sankalpa, but if sometimes we break, nothing happens to us. We don't feel. But when Sri Ramakrishna unconsciously, Naren tried to test him, put a coin, his whole nervous system reacted. He said, I felt as if a scorpion has stung me. He had not seen, it was put under the bed. He just sat on that. So Swami Shraddhanand says that this idea of not touching money, not touching coin at that stage of his sadhana, it had become a part of his nervous system. So if anything, if went contrary to his faith, his sankalpa, he would immediately react. And his whole nervous system reacted. But for us, Swami Shraddhanand says, we can't even imagine how high his mental state was, Sri Ramakrishna's, how conscious he was of every thought. No thought was thought unconsciously. And just casually think, okay, I'll practice this, and we do many things casually. When Naren said, I will come tomorrow, he said, don't say I will come, say I will try to come. If you don't come, so you see every line he uttered, he used to say, truth is, in this Kali Yuga, truth is the tapasya. And he followed it to the last word. He told Naren, if you cannot come, why do you say I will come? Say I will try to come. So he was truthful in word, thought and deed. And Swami Shraddhanand says, every action, every sadhana, every minor action he did, talking to other people. Sri Ramakrishna, unfortunately, the movies that are made, they show him like an absent-minded person. Nobody can act like Sri Ramakrishna. But if you read, if you meditate, there are some very good books by Swami Chetananda. Living with God lived with them, they lived with God. There are some wonderful books which minutely show the personality of Sri Ramakrishna, how he lived consciously every moment of his life. Nothing was without meaning. Nothing was arbitrary or haphazardly done. Even his knife, they say, when Latu Maharaj once kept the knife in a wrong place, he said, don't keep the knife like this. He said, see, this is how you should place the knife. Suppose there is no light. I should know, when I catch hold of the knife, it should not be the sharp side. So you see how to place a knife in the proper place, how to clean the lamp. He taught Sharada Devi. They say he was so meticulous how to waste. Master Masha says, Thakur even taught us how to use minimum water while not to waste water. So every action, whether it was cleaning the lamp so that less oil is wasted, he taught everything, not just spiritual practices to Sharada Devi. He said how to do things in a very conscious and a perfect way. So that shows that Sri Ramakrishna's life is the ideal life. Because for him, thought, feeling, word, deed, they all tallied. Manmukh Ekkara means he was totally focused on it was 100% conscious living. So he used to say, I have done 16 annas. If you do 1 anna, it will be enough. So you can imagine how difficult it is to lead a conscious life according to the definition of Sri Ramakrishna. If we had practiced that, if we somehow managed to practice even 1/16th, then we will be successful. And his blessing that Tumader Chaitanya Hok, when he said that, he said, try to live consciously. You will be making so many mistakes because you live absent-mindedly. You allow the unconscious to dominate your conscious mind. Many things you do out of force of habit. Your habit will tell you to do something, you will do it and then regret. But if we do everything consciously, with our buddhi fully awakened, then we will make conscious decisions, the right choice at the right time in life, because life doesn't give us second chances. Every decision, that is why they say Vivek Buddhi. The Buddhi, Vivek Buddhi, Buddhi means Vivek Buddhi, the power to discriminate, to discern what to do, what not to do. Apparently it is a very simple thing, but it's not so simple. To be a skilled professional or skilled person, development of manas is very easy. But the challenging task is development of buddhi. And development of buddhi alone at that state, when the Vijnanamaya Kosha, when we go from Manomaya Kosha, when our personality develops, then we have started living consciously. So that is the how of it. We try to manifest that consciousness. One of the most important, I'll end with that, one of the most important ways to do this, according to the authentic Ramakrishna Vedanta tradition, especially in the Ramakrishna order, it was recommended by Holy Mother, mostly to people who did not have the capacity to follow the path of Jnana. She said, Japat Siddhi. Apparently, it is a very simple piece of advice, and we think that she may have told this to illiterate women who did not have the capacity to read Shastras, to practice all spiritual disciplines. Okay, just do japa. So, Japat Siddhi. So, many people have, I was shocked when somebody said, they said, see, you see, you should, just japa will not help. I said, its mother has said this. And they said, no, you must see the context. I was shocked because it came from some reputed people, so-called reputed devotees. They said, this, this was said. You have to read Shastras, you have to do this, you have to do that. Holy Mother told it because these women, they were illiterate. Is japa for illiterate women? I mean, it's, when Mother says this, and in another place, I read the original Bengali because I wanted to make sure that she spoke that, the Bengali translation, whether it is correct. She says, it's a very important quote of Ma when she says, the easiest, mind you, I just wanted to check whether in Bengali it is the same. She says, the easiest and the best way to solve all the problems of life. You see, there are two things here. One is the easiest way. Another is the best way. So the easiest way may not be the best way. If that was the case, then okay, because the women are very illiterate and they come from rural background. Acha, you just do japa, you will get siddhi. Mother is not deceiving them or deceiving us. When she says the easiest and the best way to solve not only simple problems, all the problems. When she says all, she means material problems, spiritual problems, mental problems, all the problems of life. And she says easiest. If she had said easiest, I could have understood. There are other methods which may be better than japa. But she says no, easiest and the best way to solve all the problems of life is to, and that is what Sri Ramakrishna also says. If you see the whole gospel, many people will come and say, Mashai Upai ki. Upai mane ki. Upai of the worldly problems. If you don't have problems, you don't go to religious people normally. Only when you have problems, people came to Sri Ramakrishna. Those who are happy with their family and the world, they would not bother to come to Dakshineshwar. So, whoever came had a problem, and that's why he said, Upai ki. And Sri Ramakrishna said the same thing again and again, if you see. And Hriday one day told him, he's telling his mama, he thinks he's wiser than his mama. He said, if you tell the same answer, they will stop coming. Then Thakur gets terribly angry. I will say 1,000 times if it is right. Why are you bothered? I will say, because this is the truth. If necessary, I will repeat it 1,000 times. So there cannot be two solutions. So Mother says the easiest and the best way to solve all the problems of life is to repeat the name of the Lord, and she adds Sri Ramakrishna, because she might have given the Ramakrishna mantra to that disciple, is to repeat the name of Sri Ramakrishna in silence. So Sri Ramakrishna says one of the best ways to awaken the spiritual consciousness is Nirjan Vas. Sri Ramakrishna, before anything, he will say love for solitude. Every time you see, along with the repetition of the name, he will insist on one precondition. Not any noisy place. Try to go into solitude. He himself went to Panchavati, where nobody would disturb him. So, maje for a few days, if not few days, a few hours, go to some solitude. And there, when the mind becomes calm, the inner consciousness slowly can be, through the power of the mantra, Japat Siddhi. When Japa means the Japa that has been acquired or got from a guru, a tradition, a very authentic tradition. It's not any name, may be useful, but it may not be as potent. The mantra which has been sanctified by millions of repetition by Siddha Purusha, the mantra that has become, they say, mantra Chaitanya has to be awakened. In Tantras, they say, repetition of the mantra repeatedly, it awakens the mantra Chaitanya, then it starts functioning. So, Japat Siddhi means you repeat the Japa again and again and again. It may be, you may be patiently doing it for many years, you may not see any result. But the mantra Chaitanya, the idea of repetition is, a day will come when the inherent power, the consciousness or the Chaitanya that is in the mantra will suddenly be revealed to the mind, the purified mind, and then it will guide our buddhi. So the meaning of all mantras, like the Gayatri mantra, is please awaken my buddhi so that I can think properly and proceed on a right spiritual path. So I'm very happy that I could share a few thoughts on living consciously. In fact, it means leading a spiritual life with sincerity, according to the path, strictly following the path as instructed by the Guru. See, this is one important thing of the Ramakrishna tradition, that this Guru Parampara, the knowledge that comes through a Guru Parampara, who has a Guru who has given, has passed over the tradition which has started from Sri Ramakrishna himself. That connects us to the infinite source of consciousness, that is Sri Ramakrishna himself. So, on meditating on such a person who has blessed us on Kalpataru Day, and always he has blessed us by saying, the greatest blessing I can give to solve all your problems is Tomader Chaitanya Hok. Let your consciousness be awakened. And by repeating the mantra or given by the Guru as per the instructions of the Guru, that is one of the best or the easiest way to lead a conscious life. So that is how, the how of conscious life, the why and how of conscious life. So I am very thankful for Revered Maharaj to give me this opportunity to share a few thoughts. Let us pray to Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ma Sharda Devi and Swamiji, so that we succeed, and the blessings that Sri Ramakrishna uttered on Kalpataru Day, the blessings that he showered on entire humanity, that will enable us in our own humble way to reveal the consciousness or live a conscious life ourselves. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
My humble pranams of gratitude at the feet of Maharaj. Maharaj, we are really blessed and overjoyed and really inspired to hear your words. I hope it rekindles the fire of devotion and fervor towards spiritual practices in the hearts of the devotees who are present in the hall and who would be listening on the our live YouTube channel. Maharaj would be accepting and meeting devotees, accepting the pranams in the visitors halls after this. So you can go and offer your pranams and meet Maharaj in our visitors hall. Thank you.
I will request Maharaj, whenever you come to Mumbai, please come to our ashrama and please give discourse like that. Yeah.
Maharaj was volunteer. मयूर मेहता है ना मयूर मेहता वो